Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our how-to video on the 2020 Volvo V90, and this is the inscription trim level. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today we're working with our friends at Sears Imported Autos, selling beautiful Mercedes-Benz in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
All right, so the driver's information screen is completely digital. It's a 12.3-inch screen, very, very nice. The graphics are very good, but it is limited as to what you can do. So I'll show you what you can do, and the controls for that are over on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. It's these cursor buttons, this button here, and then this menu button. So, and then there are a few controls in the infotainment screen that will change the appearance. But for instance, right now you've got a speedometer gauge and a digital speedometer sign on the left, and you've got your RPM and fuel gauge on the right, as well as your gear selector indicator. Up at the top, you got outside ambient temperature, you got your daytime running light symbol, you've got your park assist, and then you've got your clock. Down below at the far left, you have got your cruise control, and on the left side of the steering wheel, there's the cruise control buttons, and the right or left arrows. If right now it's set to adaptive cruise, so it'll keep the distance between you and the next car automatically. It'll adjust the car. If you click the right arrow, it goes to pilot assist. And so what that does, that's dynamic cruise control as well as lane keeping assist. So it keeps you within the lanes. That's what those arrows are down there. Now, over on the bottom below the fuel gauge, you'll see a fuel symbol, a pump symbol. Tells you got 80 miles left on your tank. Now, what you can control in here is a few things. So for instance, if I push this menu button, it's going to pop up a little screen here that has trip, media, phone, and navigation. So under trip, you're going to see TM and TA. TM stands for total manually. Okay, so you're manually resetting, and TA is automatic reset, like after you shut the car off, wait 4 hours, get in the car and start it again, and it automatically resets. So right now, mileage is 30. Your average miles per gallon is 13.7. Okay, and this car again has been driven really short distances. It's been doing a lot of idling, so that's why we're seeing that. So there's all your TA stuff. Now, if I keep going, you're going to be able to adjust some things down below, like where you see the odometer. Okay, so for instance, odometer. If I click this, the odometer disappears from below the speed limit sign. Right here, how many miles till empty? You can take that off. Tourist, you can turn on a kilometers per hour, and then it shows up in the digital speedometer. So you got miles per hour on the outside, and you got the kilometers on the inside. Okay, and then you're back to here. If I want to show my trip meter here, I can do that. If I want to show the one that's automatically reset, I can show that instead. I can show neither, and it gets rid of it and just leaves the odometer. Over here, I can show miles per gallon. And now, in order to show that to you, I should be able to press the menu button, and then you're going to see it down at the far right. Okay? I'm going to go up again. So, do you see where this little white line is, kind of right above my blue line? So, what's on top affects what's on the left side, and what's below it is going to affect what's on the right side. I can have gallons per hour, and if I click here, now I've got gallons per hour over on the far right there. So this is how you adjust that, and then you can have neither. So you can have some information down there, or you can leave it like completely blank. So that's it under trip. Now if I press the right arrow, I can go over to media, and I can select my source. So let's say I go to FM radio. That's what's going to show up in the center between the RPM and the speedometer. And I'm going to press the menu button again. I can go over to phone, Now, phone's not going to show up because I don't have it hooked up, but if I did, I could click on phone and that's what would show in the middle between the gauges. And then navigation here, if you select anything, these are saved favorites. So if I click here, it's actually going to bring up the navigation map right in the driver's screen. Okay, which is really neat.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
Now you can also cancel that. So if I press that menu button again, there we go, very top. I can cancel guidance, mute guidance, or repeat guidance. So I'm going to hit cancel. There you go. Now, there's only one other thing that you can do in the driver's information screen. So let me just show you what the looks are. And when I get to the infotainment screen, I'll show you exactly how to do this. So you have a glass theme, a minimalistic theme, a performance theme, and chrome rings right there. And that is all you can customize in the driver's information screen. So without further ado then, we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. All right, so this is a 9-inch infotainment screen. It, of course, is touch. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, AM, FM radio, HD radio, Sirius XM, Navigation Pro with road sign assist, and Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, Volvo refers to this as the Sensus Connect touchscreen. This particular one does have a Harman Kardon sound system in it, which is 600 watts and 14 speakers. A very nice sound. All right, let's talk about the screen. Basically divided into two sections. This is your all your information that you can manipulate, and then this is your climate. The climate stays there all the time. It can get bigger and show you more things, but that is always there. These are your four main things. Now, this is whatever you last did. I can't see any way to rearrange the three of these, but important to know this one is whatever was last on. Okay, so in addition to this screen, you can swipe over to the left, and you can get your media sources here. You can also get other information, and we'll take a look at those. Okay, there's nothing else there. The other thing that you can do is you can pull down from the top of the screen and you can get a few other things, and we'll go through those. You do have a physical home button. That's the only physical button on the system, and that's right here. Okay, so let's go through these. First of all, let's talk about navigation. So if I click on here, if I want to set a destination, I can click here on set destination, and then I can go through and I can look at recents, favorites, library, a point of interest, address. There's always a back button down here, which is nice. Or I can just click in search and start typing. However, the easiest thing to do in modern cars is just to use the, let me go back here, is just to use the voice command. So I'm going to press the voice command button on the right side of the steering wheel, just a quick push and release, and see if I can program a route via voice command. Set state to Minnesota.
Which state?
Minnesota.
Changing search area to Minnesota.
Okay, now I got to press the voice command button again. Find the closest McDonald's to me.
Searching for POI in Minnesota. Select a POI in the list.
Number 1.
Do you want to call or set as destination?
Set as destination.
McDonald's, Olson Memorial HWI, Plymouth set as a waypoint. Calculating route.
Okay, so I had to first tell it what state I was in. And that's the way the system is set up. So you can't just tell it, like, find the nearest McDonald's to me. You have to tell it what state you are first, and then you can say it. So a little quirky in that sense. Now, let's move on. To cancel a route, you're just going to go cancel guidance. Yes. Okay, you can click here, and you can look at points of interest along the route, but a route would have to be plotted, and you can look at traffic along the route, as long as you have a route that's plotted. Now you can also click here and make it full screen, shrink it up. You can change it from 3D to 2D, but those are your only two options. Okay, so if I click there, it just puts it back up again. If you go back to this view, it will still show you turn by turn right here. All right, so let's take a look at media for a minute. And I'm going to go over here because this will take you straight to whatever you're currently on, and we'll give you a few options. But if you want to go directly to, like, say, AM, FM, or Sirius XM, you need to come over here and you need to click on it. So I'm going to go straight to FM. Now, common questions are, how do I tune? How do I save a favorite? So to tune, you can go here first of all, and then you can just slide. You can also use these arrows. If I don't want to make something a favorite, I just click the star. Okay, I'm going to hit close. Now I can also go through here and look at station lists. Okay, and then just click on anything that I want, and that's what it will play. All right, now in terms of library, I can look at all sorts of different stations here. I can also look at favorites, and I can look at genres. So if you want to search that way, that's another possibility. All right, so let's go back here. Let's hit close. All right, so that's how you're going to tune, and that's how you're going to save a favorite. All right, so Sirius XM will look pretty much the same, although this is a preview version, so it doesn't have everything there. But you notice here you got FM and Bluetooth, but no AM. That's why I say it's easier to go over here and just click on what you want. But I'll show you AM quickly, and that's going to look just like FM did, and it works the same way. All right, so I'm going to press the home button. That is media. So now I'm going to go to phone. Now, I don't have any phone connected, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and say add phone. And I'm going to go to my Bluetooth settings on my phone. Make sure that Bluetooth is on. I'm going to go to the bottom of my list because pretty soon it's going to pop up a message for me and I can click on it. All right. It's found my phone. I'm going to click on there. Okay, I'm going to hit pair. I'm going to hit confirm. Okay, so these are the allowed services. I could have media, internet, messaging, and phone. I'm going to go ahead and leave that and say, okay, finish. And on my phone, it says, do you want to allow contacts and favorites to sync? I'm going to click don't allow. But if this were your car, of course, you would click allow. Let all your contacts sync. All right. So now I can just turn my phone off. And this is what it looks like under Bluetooth. So I've got my phone right here. I got contacts there, which of course there's nothing. I can look under recents. I can look under favorites. I can go back here to this screen. Okay, I can hit close. I can look at recents. I can look at keypad right here, make a call, and I can change the device. Okay, so I'm gonna, or add one. I'm gonna click cancel. So that's the basics of the phone. I'm gonna click the home button right here. Now, that's sort of the end of what's on this screen. So let's go over here because there is more. Okay, so this is another spot to look at your radio favorites in case you don't want to tune and look through everything. You can just go right to your favorites. Bluetooth connection, okay. So this is coming off of my phone. You can, of course, go straight to favorites. You can go to AM. So these ones are appearing to be the most recent thing in media that you've done, that you've been in. Okay, I can switch devices. I can go to the library, and that's just my phone. If I click on it, I can look at my music, my playlist, or my radio. Okay, and so it's showing me the stuff that's on my phone, which is pretty cool. All right, so in order to get it to go, I just hit play, and now it's playing. Of course, I have the volume turned down. All right, so let's go back to home for a minute. Let's swipe over. So that was Bluetooth. If I had a USB connected, I could also play audio off of that. If you want to adjust the sound, you go into sound experience. Here you can do the treble and the bass and the subwoofer. You can have a neutral equalizer, a clear equalizer, a warm one, or a custom one. Okay, I can go to surround sound and I can change the level of it, or I can turn it off completely. Okay, up here, seat optimization, I can say I want sound optimized for the driver, for everybody, or just the people in the rear. And that's it for the sound. I'm going to press the home button again and go over car status. All right, so there are no messages from the car currently. I can look at the status here. Tells me what the oil level is. I can look at tire pressure monitoring system. Okay, or I can also look at service. It tells me how many days or miles I have left to my next service. All right, so nice things there. Driver performance, nice area to look at. Here you've got average fuel consumption, distance you've gone, and the duration. Again, we've been idling for a while today. And then I can look under preferences. Average fuel consumption. I can say I want a 1 mile graph scale, a 10 mile, or a 100 mile. Okay, and I can say I want it to reset after every trip, or I can manually reset it. And right here I can reset the current trip. So then if I go back, my graph is now in 100-mile increments. Okay, I'm gonna press the home button and go over here. Travel Link comes with Sirius XM, and it's not activated right now, but it's a nice service if you want to pay a little extra for it. But you get weather, you get fuel, you get sports, what's playing in movie theaters, all sorts of cool things. All right, swipe over here. You can go to the download center. You can look for system updates or application updates, and then if there are, you can hit down here to install them. Okay, under new apps, you can look for new apps if you want, and then under maps, you can select what you want to install. All right, let's close that up, and then we're going to go back to the home button. Go over Volvo ID. Now that works in conjunction with an app on your phone, but with it, you can do things like you can look at what the interior climate of your car is while it's parked. You can do a remote start. You can unlock the doors. You can see your latest trip information. You can see where your car is parked. Okay, so that's what that is. I can't get into that now, but that's what that's going to do. All right. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you how to do is hook into Apple CarPlay. But before you do that, go up here, click on Settings, click on Communication, go to Control how Apple CarPlay is started. So you want to make sure that your phone, that you click this box, because it says that starts the Apple CarPlay when connecting USB cable. So once I do that, I can close this out. I can take my cable, plug it into my phone, and I'll go ahead and I'll accept. Yes. And now Apple CarPlay lights up. All right, so now if I click on that, it asks me if I want to use my phone while it's locked. You want to click allow on that, because then you can turn your phone off and set it down, and it still works. So basically, here's how Apple CarPlay works. This is as big of a screen as you can get, okay? If you click on that, this is Google Maps. You can kind of scroll over to the left and right and up and down, or you can zoom. Okay, but if I click this, then I get all the apps from my phone that work with the car system. So you'll notice I have Waze, I have Google Maps, I've got Apple Maps. So almost any navigation app you have will work with the car. Messages I have here, Apple Music, audiobooks, Amazon Music, Pandora, and then a Sirius XM app. So lots of things will work on here. These are your most recently used items here. And then when I come back to this screen, I just swipe back, or I can press this button again, and I get 4 items in my screen. So I get maps, I get a go button for navigation, access to Siri, although you can do that through the voice command on the steering wheel. Media, of course, quick play and fast forward, and then, of course, a calendar. So that is just phenomenal. Now, typically in Apple CarPlay, there will be another icon here on the first page that'll say like Volvo. And that's how you get back to the car system. But in this case, you just need to click home, and you're back. Okay, so that's how to get into Apple CarPlay. It's absolutely awesome. If you've never used it, way better than Bluetooth. So it's just you have to connect with a cable. Now there's a couple other things I want to show you. If I swipe to the right on this screen, I can turn traction control on or off here. If it's green, it's on, and if it's not green, it's off. Lane keeping aid on or off, all these are the same. Park assist, blind spot system, the auto start stop system. You can disable it right there. Cross traffic alert. You can look at your camera. You can fold the headrests in the back. They don't fold back up, but they'll fold down for you. Roadside information. If you don't want that showing, it disappears out of your dashboard where it was under the speedometer. Cruise control. You can have that. This is standard cruise control. And then now this is dynamic cruise control. You can adjust your passenger seat, which is really cool. So if I click here, I can now use my seat controls to move the passenger seat. All right. You can do private locking, and then they want you to enter a PIN code, but that prevents anyone else from making changes. Corner illumination. So there are little fog lamps in the front that give you nice corner illumination. Turn those on, turn this on, and they come on automatically when you turn. You can turn this, click this to put the wipers in a service position. And then this is your collision avoidance system. Okay, and that I would definitely say you should leave on. And that's the end of that particular list. All right, now there's one more thing that I want to show you, and that is this drop-down list. So you can go to the owner's manual here. I think it's easier just to watch our video, but that's there. You can set a profile here, and you always have a guest profile, so you can set some, anyone can get in and click that. But you can set things and it automatically adjusts your mirrors, your steering wheel, your seat, all your favorites, even the look on the dashboard, all that stuff. It will set your climate, which is really cool. All right. So I'm going to pull this down and we're going to take a look at settings. So under my car, this is where I went earlier to change the driver's information screen. This is where I chose the themes. So I just clicked on them and that's what changes. Now I hit the back button here, and then I went to show what information I want to show between the gauges, and that's where I did that. Okay, I'm going to go back on a telesafe here. This is for city driving. This is the pre-collision warning. Late, normal, or early. If you hit late, it's going to warn you about, half a second before you crash. So I'd leave that normal or early. But you got to drive it a little bit and pick what's best for you. Road sign detection. All right, if you got the speed limit warning check marked, you can select how many miles an hour above the speed limit you want to be before it notifies you. All right. You can get road sign audio warning, okay, and speed camera audio warnings. And this does more than just speed limits. This does, on this one here, this one does stop signs, do not enter, all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to hit back. And lane keeping aid mode. So this is when you're trying to stay within the lanes. You could have assist, where it actually moves your wheel, both assist and warning, or just warning. Individual driving mode. So under here, you got a couple choices. So you can drive it as Eco, Comfort, or Dynamic. And then under the driver display, you can say Eco, Comfort, or Dynamic. And then for the steering force on the wheel, low, medium, or high. Powertrain characteristics, you can have Eco, Comfort, or Dynamic. Again, it's just a click. And then brake characteristics, normal or dynamic. I got to imagine that dynamic, the brakes grab a little sooner. For Eco Climate, if you want to use less fuel, you can turn that on. And then engine start, stop, and standby, you can click that off there as well. Although we saw another auto start, stop place to turn that off. Okay, let's see. Let's go through a couple of these here. Let's talk about locking. So this one has to do with the sensors on the door handle. So when you click on the driver's side, do you want all doors open or just a single door? Remote unlock, okay. You want all doors or a single door? Do you want any feedback when doing a lock? Okay, you want off, you want lock, you want unlock, or both. Okay, so you can have notifications on just one or the other. Audible feedback, your horn chirps at you. You can turn that off there when you lock. And then auto close sunroof curtain. So on that one, if it senses that it's hot, it will automatically close the sunroof after a while if you've left the car. All right, I'm gonna hit back. Let's look at lights and lighting. This will be the last one we look at. So on exterior lights, of course, you can say activate high beam timing, slow, normal, or fast, and that will determine how quickly your high beams come back on after they've gone off. So they're on a normal beam and then come back. Sometimes they come on fast, and sometimes they don't come on fast enough. So that's where you can adjust that. Home safety lights. So when you get out and turn your car off, the headlights stay on for 30 seconds up to 90 seconds. Welcome light. If you unlock the car, the lights exterior lights will come on. Daytime running lamps. Do you want those on or off? Sometimes you get an insurance discount for those, so that'd be a good thing to leave on. Triple flash indicator. So when you bump the turn signal, but you don't actually click it all the way up, it'll give 3 flashes and then self-cancel. Interior lighting. So you have some ambient light in here. So you can set the intensity to low or high. You can say you want a reduced amount of light or full. So this one has to do with the intensity. This one has to do with the level of light. And then this adjusts the intensity for the mood lights, low or high. So if you click this one, then the themes come on. So then you can choose your color theme. Okay, we'll go back again. Last thing. Under this one, this is a tri-zone, so you got 3 different areas here. So I can go to rear climate, and I can set the temperatures there just by clicking on them. Okay, and this side as well, which is pretty cool. I can turn it off completely if I want. Adjust the fan speed. Main climate here. All right, so under main climate, basically you got max defrost, rear defrost, and then of course recirculatory if you want that on. And then your fan speed, and you can click auto climate if you want. Usually the sync button somewhere in this menu, it's not. On the driver's side only, if you click on here and go to the very top, you can choose synchronize temperatures, and then they go back to the same. You can also do parking climate right here, so you can precondition the car. You can set a timer, you can set a date and a time. So and then repeat weekly. So the car's warmed up or cooled down for you when you get in it, which is very, very nice. Okay, and that's it for the infotainment screen on the 2020 Volvo V90. And again, this is the inscription trim level. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.